Tonight, President Zelenskyy is calling Russia's actions in Ukraine genocide. And as we come on the air, we're learning more about those alleged atrocities as Russian forces move out of cities and towns they once occupied. A residential neighborhood in the town of Bucha, northwest of Kyiv, is now in ruins. Ukrainian troops are moving in to see what remains, and a warning: these next images are disturbing. The mayor says hundreds of people are buried in mass graves. Citizens describe executions by Russian forces. President Zelenskyy says Ukraine is being destroyed and exterminated, with Russia now focusing on the south and east of the country. Massive explosions rocking the key port city of Odessa on the Black Sea after Russian missiles struck a fuel depot there. Clouds of acrid smoke could be seen for miles. And tonight, a Ukrainian fighter pilot on the front lines tells our foreign correspondent James Longman what motivates him to keep fighting. James leads us off once again tonight from Kyiv.
Tonight, the horror of Putin's war laid bare. As Russia retreats from the suburbs of Kyiv, these discoveries are now prompting worldwide condemnation. Bodies of murdered civilians, some appearing to have been executed, left lying in the streets. Ukraine says Russia is guilty of war crimes, and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is now accusing the Russians of genocide, saying Ukrainians are being destroyed and exterminated.
Indeed, this is genocide. The elimination of the whole nation and the people.
In Bucha, images that will define this war. Residents say Russian forces shot civilians on the spot. Some allegedly had their hands tied behind their backs. This woman says she was walking when a Russian soldier fired at her with a machine gun. She made it home, saying she was beside herself. Bucha's mayor saying hundreds of people buried in a mass grave. This new satellite image shows a 45-foot-long trench near a church. There is no dignity here. Bodies loaded into this van. The horror each victim faced, now a task for investigators to uncover. Ukraine's prosecutor general telling me tonight that more than 400 victims have been retrieved from liberated areas around Kyiv, but it might be just the start.
Actually do this systematically. It's crimes against humanity. What we can see now in the Kyiv region, it's this huge number. The Zhytomyr highway is absolutely full of dead bodies. That's why we will do this job to prove all these crimes.
Today, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken wouldn't go as far as saying Moscow's committing genocide in Ukraine, but he said reports of Russian atrocities are a punch to the gut.
Since the aggression, we've come out and said that we believe that Russian forces have committed war crimes, and we've been working to document that. We can't become numb to this. We can't normalize this.
Elsewhere, Russia's assault continues. Massive explosions rocking Odessa in the south. Russian missiles striking a fuel facility in this key port city on the Black Sea. It's considered an economic lifeline for the entire country. I feel scared, he says, not for myself, but for my kid. I'll take the weapons in my hands if it's needed, but against rockets, you can't fight those weapons. Russian rockets also raining down on Mykolaiv as Moscow tries to cut off Ukraine from the Black Sea. Taking the city would create a land corridor from Russia to Crimea. US and Ukrainian officials saying the Kremlin is focusing on the south and the eastern Donbass region of the country after suffering heavy losses in the north. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg warning the Russians are shifting strategy.
What we see is not a real withdrawal, but we see that Russia is repositioning its troops, and they are taking some of them back to rearm them, to reinforce them, to resupply them.
And from an undisclosed airbase in Ukraine, one of the famed ghosts of Kyiv, a fighter pilot, speaks to ABC.
All of us are ghosts. All of us are hiding in Ukrainian sky.
The horrific headlines today from Bucha, he tells me, only give him the motivation to keep going. But he says Ukraine needs more fighter jets from the West.
It's a war of all people of Ukraine. That's why we just must win this war.
He says they need those tools. James Longman joins us now from Kyiv. And James, President Zelenskyy just released that powerful address to his people after those horrific reports out of Bucha. And it seems that once again he is calling on the international community to take action.
Yeah, it was an incredibly powerful address, Lindsay, that he just gave. He said concentrated evil had come to Ukraine. He said he wanted the mother of every Russian soldier to see the bodies of those killed in Bucha. And yes, he wants a UN Security Council meeting. He wants the world to act. Lindsay?
James, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.